guys, welcome back to the YouTube channel. Here we are again with another how-to video on BMX bikes. So obviously we're here at Adrenaline Alley to teach you guys the best tricks in BMX. So stay tuned for this video because I'm going to be teaching you guys how to do a foot jam tail whip. So let's go. So in this video guys, I'm going to be teaching you how to do a foot jam tail whip on a quarter pipe. So before we even get started on learning this trick, there's a few things to consider. First of all, you need to be able to do a foot jam. So if you can't already do that, I suggest you go back and watch my how to foot jam video. And then to progress from the foot jam is a can jam. And if you can't do that, I suggest you go back and watch that and then come back to this video. And also be confident with taking your feet off the bike, because during this trick, you're going to have no feet on your pedals until you land the trick. So there are a few things to be confident with before attempting this trick. So on the build up to learning the foot jam tail whip and taking it to a quarter pipe, you can learn this trick on flat ground. If that gives you more confidence in learning the foot jam tail whip before, you know, going to a quarter pipe and sending it, you can learn it on flat ground, and I'll show you exactly how to do that. So guys, there are a few similarities with the foot jam tail whip as there are to a foot jam. Obviously, when you're approaching the quarter pipe, you want to be going at a very similar speed to doing a foot jam as doing a foot jam tail whip. You still want to be turning 90 degrees like you do in a foot jam, and you also still want to be very close to the coping. Obviously, the closer to the coping, the less of a mission it is to get back into the ramp. So similar speed, figure out what speed is comfortable for you to get up to the ramp of your choice, and turn 90 degrees and shift your weight forward over the bars. Shift your weight forward, back wheel comes up, and as your back wheel comes up, your front foot goes over the frame into the front wheel, and that is where your eyes are fixed at this point. So your eyes are fixed at the front wheel, so you can see everything that's going on. You're now in can jam position, and your rear foot just wants to swing the back end out, give it a little kick, and that will send it over the frame, and it's going to swing around the bars and it's going to come back. And at this point, this is where I see a lot of riders struggling as well. So what you want to do is, obviously now your pedals have crossed your vision line, so this is where you're looking, your eyes are fixed, and now your pedals are coming into it, so you can see where your feet need to go. And this is where the commitment comes into the trick. You need to be committed to landing the trick. So hop out. So obviously you're in foot jam, you're compressed, and now you want to land it, you want to explode out. So that'll give you your pop. So your pedals have come round, you see them, you explode out, and you put your feet right where they need to be, and that's how you land the foot jam tail whip. While you're in the foot jam tail whip, so while you're in from this position all the way to this position, is a balancing act, and it takes practice on figuring out where your center balance is. So obviously while your frame's over there, you use your foot, this leg, to counterbalance the bike. So if you're too steep and the wheel scrapes, so if you go into it and it does this, you're too far forward, so you need to lean back or counter it with this leg. And if you're too far back, you're going to fall out and just ride out like that. So you need to find the sweet spot with your head and shoulders over the bars and this leg to make any adjustments needed to keep that balance point, to allow your wheels to swing around like that. So you can just practice that on flat ground first. Just kick it round, get used to finding your pedals and jumping on. You know, so if this helps you get that muscle memory to find your pedals, then just practice that. So just kick it round and jump on. And once you get that dialed, then you can ride into the trick. So if we're going to break it down even further, you can now land the foot jam tail whip on flat ground. You can literally take it to anything, a curb in your street, hopping into it, kicking it round, landing back in. That is actually my story. That's how I learnt the foot jam tail whip. I found a little grass bank on my estate and started doing foot jam tail whips and landing it in, and like visualizing that it's a ramp, and that's how I learnt. So we've done it on flat ground. We're now going to take it to this mellow bank, so it gets you used to like going on and off. So let's do it. Then practiced it on flat banks. That gets you used to it builds the muscle memory of landing onto something and then coming back off of something. And now you're ready for a quarter pipe, so let's go. So if you've got this far into the video, you can now do the foot jam tail whip on flat ground, and now you can do it on banks. So you've got that muscle memory of landing on and then jumping out. So on, off, on, foot jam tail whip, off. So now we're at quarter pipe. This is my quarter pipe of choice, purely because it's got enough deck space. So that is another thing to consider when trying it. Make sure you've got enough deck space when you pop out to allow for the rear wheel clearance. So normally there's handrails at the end of the ramps, and you don't want it to hit the handrail while you're in this trick, else you won't be able to land it. So make sure you've got deck clearance. You want to try and compress so you don't pop off the coping and land in foot jam tail whip pretty much straight away with minimum air time, because that will maximize your stability in the foot jam. Obviously if you're airing into it, you've got to try and find that sweet spot when you land, whereas when you compress and just go straight into it, you're already in that sweet spot, and it gives you a little bit more flexibility in finding your balancing point. So try not to air into foot jam tail whip if you can help it, and try and just roll over the coping and land pretty much straight into it. I'll show you a few examples now. So guys, did you see there how I try not to air into it? I try and compress before I manage to get any air time. So you just ride into it. You try and shift your weight forward earlier up the ramp so you don't air into it. You just ride into it. And from this point here all the way to this point here is just balancing. So get that back. You've kicked the bike, and now your front foot is holding the foot jam. Your rear foot is your balancing leg. So from here to here is balancing. So that leg wants to make sure a couple of things, that you're still leaning into the ramp because that's where you want to be going, and also your center gravity balance point is counteracting the bike, so it doesn't hit the deck and it doesn't come too high. So at this point, so when your bike gets to here, it's now crossed your vision into where you're landing. So you can now see your pedals and your landing in the same spot. So when your wheel gets to this point, that is when you explode back into the ramp, because you can catch the pedals and go in. So if you do it too soon, if you hop back in while your wheel is, say, there, you're going to land flat. It just like, that's where you land flat. Or if it comes round too soon, that's when you case and you're going in like that. Or you catch pedals, hop about in foot jam for a bit and go back in. But we're just trying to get in, do the business, get out. That, you get to this point, you're fully committed, you're compressed, and you explode back in. So explode means you can get the pop. Stay close to the coping means it needs to be less aggressive. You don't have so far to go back in. Your pedals are in sight, your landing's in sight. You've just pulled yourself a foot jam tail whip. Yes then, let's go, full send. And that's all there is to it, guys. You've now just learned how to do a foot jam tail whip on a quarter pipe. Your riding has now just reached the next level. Yes then, stoked for you guys. And if you did pull this trick because of this video helped you out in any way, shape or form, comment down below. And any tips that you figure out for yourself along the way, comment them down below as well. So anybody watching this video can learn from all of us guys, and we can all just progress each other, and that's how it works, baby. So yes then, cheers for watching another video, guys. Obviously massive shout out to Dragon Energy for supporting me in 2023. big up Adrenaline Alley for having the best skate park ever. Come here, learn your foot jam tail whips, and have a session with me. Do you know what I'm saying? So let's go. And if you haven't hit that subscribe button already, please make sure you do so. It's absolutely free. And every so often, I like to do a Dragon Energy giveaway. So give back to you guys watching, support each other. So that's what I'm saying. Good times ahead. 2023 is the year of progression. We're going to take our riding to the next level, guys. So make sure you tune back in next Tuesday for another how-to video. I hope this has helped you with your foot jam tail whip journey, and I'd love to see it. So cheers, guys. See you then.